move this over here because this will be kind of after.
We are live.
Hey! See if anybody shows up. You can turn yourself and come closer. Sorry, guys. We're really just fiddling around.
Yeah, just kind of making some adjustments here.
Hey, Kara. This will also be available on YouTube when we're done. We'll put it up on the thing. Hey, Chella.
You can also access it from Facebook as well.
The group, but then you can share it with your friends on YouTube. We don't put it a lot on YouTube yet, but we're getting there. It's been a little crazy. Hi, Rick. For those of you who don't know, I finished my nurse practitioner school. Yay. Took and passed my board.
She's a full-fledged nurse practitioner now.
I have my Ohio endorsement, so I have a few things left to do before I can practice, besides find a job. Hey, Mario, good.
Good to have you on here.
You need this because it'll help your diabetes a lot. So we're gonna get started.
We hope everybody had a good Christmas, by the way.
We do. And why what I'm starting this is at the end of the year, I always clean my house. I want to start the new year with a clean house. We have been cleaning from top to bottom, and in some ways, restarting your diet, restarting keto is a way of cleaning your house, as your body is your house. And the other way to clean your house is to get rid of the junk out of it, like your canned soups, your junky mac and cheese, your stuff that's really carby, stuff that doesn't spoil. Instead of throwing it in the trash, you can donate it to a food bank. You can donate it to somebody that needs it. Some things can just go in the garbage. That pumpkin pie that is not a keto pumpkin pie right now it can go in the trash. Clean out the refrigerator. And this way you can start your new year with a clean house and start working on getting a healthier body. Everybody wants to lose weight, but really what we really need to do is resolve to get healthier and clean out your body. Hi, Connie. Hi, guys. I'm so glad you joined. So one of the first things we're going to talk about a little bit, John's got a lot to say too, is kind of no more excuses. I hear, well, I haven't been grocery shopping. I can't start until whatever. And it's really an excuse. There is not going to be a perfect time to start keto. You just do. And for us, we kind of fell into it. If you don't know our history, John was part of a clinical trial through 23andMe years ago, 2 years ago now, started in January, a low carb arm. And so I mentioned to him, well, I have this great book on keto.
What's keto?
And so I kind of gave him the book, and he read it and went, because he was already doing low carb. He said, that's it. This is what I think I need.
History.
And he fell in love with it. And then I kind of hemmed and hawed because I was much more addicted to carbs than he was. And then once I started, and I was cooking him low carb keto foods. I just would still snack because I'm a snack monster. And so I ended up, just a couple months later, I went keto too. And so it's been now 2 years, and I don't really have a lot of desire to go back. Occasionally I will enjoy a non-keto food, but that doesn't happen too often.
But we really have tried to make it a lifestyle, not just being on a diet.
Yeah. So there is no perfect time to go on a diet, but how about is it time to change your life?
Mm-hmm.
And in that time, my triglycerides, Mario, you'll understand this one, was 220, which is really kind of high. And then it went to 110 a year later, and now this year they were 78. So I have reduced my inflammation. I've improved my cardiac risk factors greatly. And yes, my cholesterol is still a little high, but if you knew my family, you would know why my cholesterol is still a little high. I am probably, because I'm not terribly heavy at this point, a hyper responder to my cholesterol. And so I can pump out, my liver can really moves those cholesterol in and out of the blood system.
Hi, Joy. Nice for you to join us tonight.
So, and that's another lecture. But we all, a little bit later, stay tuned, I'm going to show you a lot of keto snacks to keep around, because what I have found is if I have all the good food around me, I'm not going to lean towards a non-keto food. And the incident was we were in Huntington, and I was really kind of hungry, and I needed something to snack on, and we were going to stop at Starbucks to get a tea, and he wanted a coffee, and so I said, well, grab something in Starbucks that they might have that we know we could eat. And because I was like really wanting a potato chip, and they do have those there. But so he found something there, and I'll show you or explain the package in a little bit. And once I started eating that, that's what hit the spot for me, because it was a healthy keto snack. And if I had the option of picking the chips, which I love and I'll never give up, probably 100%, or that snack, which was cheese and meat, a little thin salami
and some cheese slices.
And I would have went right for the salami and the cheese, because it really was what my body needed, because it had a lot of fat in it. So what I'm trying to say is, if you keep all those really good keto snacks around, so then if you need to shove some food in your face for whatever reason, hunger, boredom, fatigue, haven't missed a meal, then you've got them. And that's a good way to avoid falling off the wagon. I really don't want to hear from people saying I just have too much stress to start a diet. Well, I couldn't be under much more stress than I was in the fall, and I did it. Mm-hmm. So let's try giving up those excuses, and let's find ways
to start today.
And one of the things you can do, there's a couple things, and John's going to start talking about intermittent fasting. And you don't have to be keto or paleo, which we're also going to maybe talk a little bit about today. Because for some people, they can't go full keto, but maybe paleo will be an entrance. For many people, that's their entry into keto, and they can stay on paleo for some years before they go over to keto. The paleo people don't like that necessarily, but it's a good first step, and it gets the processed foods out of your diet. And that's what we really are trying to do, is get the processed foods that cause inflammation. Inflammation causes heart disease. It causes rheumatoid arthritis. It causes GI issues, causes irritable bowel. It causes, it can even help some people, if they got enough inflammation, will start developing celiac disease, which is kind of what's really happened to me. So, John, why don't you talk about the benefits of intermittent fasting?
All right. I want to say hi to Teresa there. Hi. Intermittent fasting, you may have heard a lot about it on the news, but it has a lot of benefits, and there's been a lot of studies demonstrating all its helpful aspects, whether you're already on keto, whether you're not on keto, whether you're on paleo. It's also a nice way of jump starting things. Maybe we haven't been eating properly over the Christmas season.
It's been the holidays.
So
We've all indulged maybe a little bit, no judgment.
Yeah, no judgment. So, but it's a new year. It's time to jump into that. So one way of helping to jumpstart things is intermittent fasting. And that's essentially what it says. It's essentially fasting, and that can vary anywhere from 12 to 24 to 36 hours.
Or longer, but we're not really talking about the long-term fasting.
Yeah. Ourselves, we generally fast about 12 hours.
No,
12 to 18.
We do 18. 12 is only like 7 at night to 7 in the morning. We don't tend to eat until lunch.
So we tend to go a little longer with that. So anyway, intermittent fasting can jumpstart your metabolism. It can also jumpstart ketosis as well. And it kind of can help retool your metabolism. So, but it's something that if you're not used to doing, we suggest that you ease into it. Especially if you're not fat adapted, if you're not a veteran keto person. And certainly if you're a diabetic, if you're using insulin or other medications, get some buy-in from your physician first before you go into intermittent fasting.
And if you're his patient, when you come and see him, talk to him about it.
Ask me.
Ask him. Diabetics can absolutely intermittent fast, but they have to change things up a little bit. It's kind of beyond the scope of this conversation, and I really, he'll talk to you about it. Really, a lot of it is about when you take your medicines, monitor your blood sugars, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But you absolutely, because the body, when you intermittent fast, starts the liver will produce its own glucose to keep your blood sugars up. So for the average person, hypoglycemia is not that big a deal once you're used to fasting.
Especially if you're already been on keto for a while.
Yeah.
It probably should not be a problem.
What you want to do is you're going to want to start really slow, 12 hours. Now, I hear a lot of people say, well, they can't go, they don't like being hungry. Well, think about if you eat put the last morsel of food in your mouth at 7 at night, and you eat breakfast at 7 in the morning, you have
been fasting 12 hours.
You fasted 12 hours.
So there you go.
So, and then, okay, then add an hour. Then say, well, you always fast 12 hours. You don't usually eat after whatever time, and you don't eat until breakfast. Add an hour, go to 8, then go to 9, then go to 10. Keep a snack with you. It's not about punishing yourself. It's not about, depriving yourself, because when you fast, you're going to want to eat. Say, we're just going to say your calories that you normally eat are, say, 3,000 calories. I know that's a lot, but I'm just going to say it. And you're going to eat 2 meals because you're going to fast to lunch. Ideally, you fast from dinner or your evening snack. We eat a snack around 7 until lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to divide your calories that you're going to eat into your 2 meals. So it's not about cutting a meal out so then you don't eat enough calories, because that will not be beneficial for you. That will send your metabolism down. But you can fast without ruining your metabolism. And that's what a lot of people say. And there's been tons of studies done on this.
Yeah, and there's a number of resources that you can read about this. One is the Obesity Code by Dr. Jason Fung, who's a nephrologist or a kidney specialist. That book you can get on Amazon as well. And Chella will talk about water and black coffee. Generally, with fasting, we water, all the water you want. Black coffee, plain tea is perfectly fine. You may also want to add a little salt to your diet as well for electrolytes.
Some people like adding salt to their black coffee, and salt will actually often reduce your hunger. Tea is fine, and for some people, adding fat to their coffee or their tea, because I don't drink coffee, like butter, ghee, which is butter that has had all the milk solids out. And if milk is a problem for you, dairy is a problem, then ghee will not cause you problems because it takes the milk solids out. And you can make it easily. You don't have to buy, the expensive ghee. It's so simple. And you can add MTC oil if you want. You don't have to. You can add coconut oil if you want to. Some people say you shouldn't add any flavoring drops like stevia or anything like that. I don't see it's a problem. I would try to stay away from sweet things. I try to stay away from pop when I'm fasting, although sometimes I do drink a Diet Coke when I'm fasting, especially if I'm cleaning or at work. But definitely teas and coffees that don't have calories are good. If you have a lot of leg cramps, Smart Water is really, really good.
Because that has some electrolytes in it.
Yeah.
Most of us on keto do need our magnesium as well. So you want to add a magnesium supplement, especially if you do wake up with cramps and have muscle spasms.
There is something called fasting drops for those of you that really want to get into fasting. If you don't have to buy anything, you can just use good salt. I think you sometimes use fasting drops. Yeah,
and it's essentially just an electrolyte solution with some salt in it.
Yeah, and sometimes you use an electrolyte powder.
And that's a personal choice. You may want to use something like that. You may not need it. But again, your results may vary. So if you're taking a diuretic or a water pill, you may want to add some electrolytes to your regimen as well. If you're taking like something for hypertension, hydrochlorothiazide, Lasix, any of those things, you may want to take some electrolytes along with that as well.
We use a powder we get from Amazon. We use fasting drops. I think they're by Keto Chow, I think makes them. We sometimes just use salt. If you're hungry, and I do this more than he does, although he does do it some, is putting salt under your tongue or on your tongue, a good pinch of salt. Because you're fasting and you're not eating a lot of processed foods, the salt's not going to hurt your blood pressure.
Yeah, just a little pinch.
As a matter of fact, my blood pressure now is down so low that I'm struggling between using a diuretic and not using a diuretic for my blood pressure.
I find it sometimes mid-morning, like if I'm fasting from dinner to dinner.
He does that pretty often.
I'll get a little bit hungry around lunchtime, but generally a lot of the hunger passes. Most people aren't hungry that whole period of time. And actually, the further you go in your fasting hours, you'll actually probably be less hungry over a period of time, but definitely doing that. Hi, Angel. I think the amount of salt we would recommend is really a minimal amount.
Yeah, you're not taking tablespoons, you're taking a pinch.
It's less than a gram. You definitely want to keep your water fluid intake up. So generally all the water you want to drink is fine.
And if you're fasting, you're not getting the sodium in the processed foods that you normally eat.
That's a good point as well. And again, it's the salt can help a lot. We recommend a good pink Himalayan salt or
real salt,
which we've talked about before.
We tend to stay away from just table salt that you get, with the little umbrella girl. We have used some natural sea salt. We've used pink salt, and our favorite is the Redmond's real salt. Use what you can afford. Everyone is different on what they can afford, and we're not proclaiming you should do anything that is outside of your pocket. This diet is one that can go from, as people say, the grass-fed, panda massaged, super expensive beef to Walmart and Aldi's, and I shop at Walmart and Aldi's, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can sometimes get really good beef, but there's a lot of stuff I get at Walmart and Aldi's. And matter of fact, all my keto baking was done from Walmart and Aldi's grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And another question is bone broth. Some people, if you're really hungry, bone broth may be an acceptable food item for your intermittent fast. It may break your fast temporarily, but if it helps you stay on track and get you back into the swing of things, then a little warm bone broth
might help.
Can help a lot,
especially when you're just learning to fast. Dr. Fung, who he also has a lot of YouTube videos on just Google, Dr. Fung intermittent fasting.
That'll give you a lot of information.
Yeah, Dr. Fung is like the guru, and everybody has an opinion. I tend to go by what Dr. Fung says. I've learned a lot from listening to him. I listen to podcasts. I listen to a lot of things all the time on diet and fat adaptation and cardiac, and it's really interesting. By the way, this is off topic, but Melissa, who's probably working tonight, is not on, and she'll laugh. Is that people will say how dangerous keto is, but your Pepsi candy bar potato chip diet that you were eating, no one said anything to you about that. So it's kind of interesting how that tends to work.
Yeah,
Jason Fung, F-U-N-G.
Yeah.
And you can download it on Kindle. You can get it at the library.
Yeah.
You can Google his videos. They're free. There's a lot. He has pioneered the fasting world. And John is the king of fasting. I don't fast as well. Sometimes women have a little trouble. I get a headache, although I will fast until about 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I will not eat after 7 at night, and sometimes I'll fast until 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then I'll break my fast with something light, like a few nuts or something easy. And some days, if I want to not eat, but I don't want to totally fast, I will do homemade broth that I make. I boil my own chicken. Protein is what can break your fast. Fat tends not to break your fast. Now, the strictest, hardcore fasting people, I'm not going to ever be one of them, and I don't really want you to be one of them, will have water and salt only, and that's it. I don't see a whole lot of good reason to not drink a little bit of coffee or a little bit of tea.
Yeah, and again, the purpose is not to make it an unpleasant experience. And
matter of fact, why don't you talk about the benefits of fasting?
Well, again, jump-starting your ketosis is one reason, but there's another phenomenon we call autophagy that tends to occur in fasts around 18 hours or so. And this is kind of when the body's cleaning mechanism cleans up dead, broken cells in the body.
It's cleaning your house.
And it's kind of cleaning your house. And again, it can certainly help mobilize fat from the liver as well. And so
what it does is when you break down those cells, and it goes on, you have autophagy, probably the peak of autophagy is about 3 days of fasting. I've never fasted that long unless I was sick.
Yeah, I don't think you necessarily have to. Some people can go a little overboard.
I've seen people do 7 days, 21 days. I'm not into that. But
yeah. I think 24 hours is good.
24, 36.
To 36 hours if you want to do that once a week or so. And it can really make a big difference. Many people feel great once they get along. Once they get into the fast. Into the fasting part of it.
The thing that fasting does is if you have GI problems, it's going to rest your stomach. It's going to rest your GI tract and let it heal. A lot of people have, we hear leaky gut syndrome, and that's from chronic inflammation of the gut, from inflammatory foods like your glutens and And for some people, it's dairy, and some people, there's a lot of things in our diets that's very unhealthy, so it doesn't get a chance to heal. It stays inflamed, and poisons leak out into your system. For people that is losing weight, when you're doing keto and you're losing weight, and you fast, your skin tends to stay snugger, and less sagging. And actually, women will like this, is that it helps keep your skin from wrinkling, because all the bad stuff is burned up out of your body, all the broken DNA, all that stuff. Your body actually uses it for fuel and cleans it out and turns it over. So then you're using the healthy cells. So start with 12, then go to 13, go to 14, 16, try to get up to 18. I would like to get to 36. You know, and I think that was going to be one of our goals.
In 2020.
2020 is a longer fast. We'll see how we do on that. He'll
keep you updated on that.
But for women, there's a time when you probably shouldn't start your fasting. Now, your 12-hour just meal to meal is fine, but for a longer fast is before your period. If you're having menstrual cycles, when you're having PMS, that is not the time or the place to skip, 2 meals. I mean, you can go from dinner to through lunch, but don't try to do a longer, an 20-hour, 24-hour, 36-hour fast if you are premenstrual. First of all, you're going to kill somebody. And second of all, you're going to be having cravings and things. And that's not the best time to start. Now, you can, like I said, do your 18-hour, your normal fast like we would do every day. But your hormones are not balanced at that time. So it's not the best time to put another stress on your body. Yeah, Joanne, we did talk a little bit about that early. Diabetics they need to monitor their glucose, their blood sugars, and slowly move your eating window out. Especially if you're fat adapted, you're not going to have low blood sugars, even if you're diabetic. Diabetics especially need to be keto, because the body,
you need to reduce your insulin levels, because with type 2 diabetics, that's what we're talking about, are often insulin resistant.
So they make a lot of insulin, but they don't use it. And the insulin excess is what's causing you all the problems.
Contributes to the inflammatory process that contributes to the diabetic complications. So I would say, Joanne, the short answer is yes.
The long answer is you need to talk to him, and so he can work with you on it.
Yeah. Keep a track of your blood sugars. And I think that if you're already fat adapted, probably with a diabetic, probably get on keto first, get fat adapted, then we can work on getting the intermittent fasting going.
Yeah. Intermittent fasting works fine. I've had, before I went keto, I was having some issues with some blood sugar swings. And once I went on keto, I have not had another blood sugar swing at all. And some people freak out when they test their blood sugars in the morning and it's up a little bit, and it's perfectly normal because the body's kind of sending out glucose. And what your body will do when you're fasting is the liver, your body, especially if you're fat adapted, the liver will say, oh, I need to send out a little more sugar, a little more glucose. And your body can produce glucose. People don't realize that you don't have to eat the carbs, eat the sugar to keep your sugar stable. And that's the mistake we've made. We've told diabetics they have to eat every 2 hours. They got to have enough carbs, and a lot of the studies, when they say it's a low carb diet, it's 50 grams of carbs per meal. That is
or
not,
100 per meal.
And that's not low carb. And so, if you keep your carbs low, you're not going to have any blood sugar swings. Your body is going to figure out what it needs to give you.
Does anybody have any other questions on intermittent fasting? Just jump in,
Yeah.
If you have any questions, and we'll try to answer those for you.
And again, for those that aren't John's patients, if you're diabetic, talk to your doctor. If you are a doctor, totally. Talk to John. If you are John's patient, talk to him. He can help you monitor your blood sugars, but really start with that keto. Now, for those of you that don't want to be keto, you can do something called paleo. And I will put a link to the paleo website. Paleo eliminates things like grain, potatoes, things that early man probably didn't have access to. So you're not eating any processed foods. You're not eating the biscuits. You're not eating the cakes. You're not eating the pies. You're eating fruits and berries and vegetables and meat and things like that. We want you to stay away from inflammatory oils as much as possible, like canola oil, safflower oil. Those oils, those nut oils, they're studying now. Some of the heart doctors are studying the inflammatory effects on that, and that may actually cause a lot of damage to your cardiac vascular system. So if you're afraid of keto, you can start with paleo keto, and really try to stay away from processed foods and biscuits and things. Now, I have a whole basket of keto treats and snacks that we use in our house.
We'll share those with you.
And I'm going to share these with you. Most of them, like this one, came from Walmart. And these are like, it's mozzarella cheese, and it's wrapped in pepperoni, prosciutto, hard salami. So you can get that really easy locally, nothing fancy. John will take a few of each for his lunch. I've seen
them as a snack.
He's had it as a snack. So this is his favorite. So it's one of his favorite lunches, snacks, if I don't have something regular to pack. And we try to keep that in the house a lot. So instead of him grabbing something that's bad for him, he will go and grab that. Now, this is not the best thing, but when I talked to Melissa, we talked about making better bad choices. During the holidays, we've been really incredibly busy, and I have been actually sick. I've had a virus that's a lot like mono, and I've been exhausted. So I haven't felt much like cooking, and times I really haven't felt much like eating a lot. So I found Kroger in Jackson and Kroger Athens, and I don't know about the Kroger in Huntington, makes Quest Pizza. Now, it may not be the best keto food, but for those of you that want a frozen pizza and you tend to go off the rails because pizza's your jam, you can have this. A half a pizza is a serving. So that's 2 pretty good sized pieces. And
6 net carbs.
6 net carbs, yes. It's got 19 grams of fiber and 25 grams of carbs, so it comes out to 6 net carbs. And it doesn't taste god-awful. And the ingredients...
We recommend adding a little extra cheese to it, by the way.
It's got a little iffy ingredients, but it's not hellish.
Yeah.
So this is a possibility to keep in the house.
It's certainly better than your traditional Domino's or Pizza Hut pizza.
And so then when you come home late and you're tempted to stop at McDonald's or Domino's and have them delivered, if you keep one of these in the house, and these were on sale when we got them.
Yeah, throw it in the oven, 20 minutes.
You got a pizza.
Done. Yeah.
Okay. This is not a snack, but we have discovered something at Walmart that is fantastic. I'm sorry, this is always doing this backwards.
Pork jowl bacon.
Yeah, it is super fatty, guys. Super fatty.
So good.
This whole package was $4.43.
Right at Walmart.
Right at Walmart. It's in one of the center cases, kind of near all the ham. Tastes a little bit like ham. It's a little salty. And we'll fry that up. If Joey, cauliflower pizza crust may not be okay.
What we recommend is really, which we'll talk about anyway, is reading the labels. You'll see plenty of cauliflower crust in the freezer case. And again, if you have a gluten intolerance, that may not be bad. But the cauliflower crust pizzas that we saw at Walmart had a huge amount of carbohydrates.
Because it's full of rice flour and all kinds of other carby ingredients. And sometimes they'll say cauliflower crust, like Oprah has one, and it's got flour in it. So it's really carby. So if you make your own cauliflower crust, that's great.
Yeah, you can make your own cauliflower crust. You can make your own fathead crust, which we'll talk about at some point.
Yeah.
Or you can make a crust with cheese and almond flour. But the frozen cauliflower crust pizzas that you see in the freezer case,
you have to watch.
Kind of have to really read the labels on them. Most of the ones we've seen weren't so good.
And we did try one that wasn't full of carbs, and it really was kind of nasty.
Yeah. So just read the labels, but like I said, they'll advertise it as a cauliflower crust, but be sure to look at the ingredients and buyer beware with that.
But this pork jowl bacon, I make it like as a Saturday lunch, or if we are going to have a breakfast, or sometimes in the evening we're really tired. We've been out all day, and we just fry up a little of this.
Fries up in a few minutes in the pan.
And it's got, and it's really tasty for the money it is, and it's Walmart. You're always looking for something different. There's all kinds of neat crusts to do. Let me see. I gotta move this one out of the way. I've got a lot of stuff here. Guys.
Oh yeah.
Okay, snacks. These are 100%, maybe not cheap, but they're 100% acceptable. Wisps, they make all kinds of flavors.
If you want your crunchy, crispy snacks.
And it works with a dip. You need something to dip with. And then, wait a minute. Here's the other one. I got this like at Starbucks. I've gotten them I've gotten them other places, but some people like moon cheese and some people prefer wisps. Those are 100% okay. Eat to your heart's desire on those. That's what we have. Now, I buy these two places. Duke's makes a little snack, has a couple of sausages and some little bit of cheese, like the wisps in them. You can get them at Speedway, and if you guys know where I live near Speedway. And sometimes we'll grab these and throw them in the car because we're going to be out at lunchtime, or maybe I want a snack because we're running to Huntington. It's like everywhere I go, it's an hour drive. And I've also gotten them from Amazon by the case. So we always keep snacks with us. So I am no longer ever tempted to run through the drive-through for French fries, because that was a past problem. And when I did it, I always put on weight. So this now is something I try to pack. I'll pack a little bag of stuff.
Doesn't need any refrigeration or anything. You just throw them
in the car.
Throw them in the car and you're good to go.
Also, Speedway carries these little 3 Duke's Shorty sausages. John can have these for his lunch if he eats a light lunch or has got a meeting or something. Or we have them in the car for a snack. And also, it's travel food.
Yeah. Those of you who are planning on flying anywhere this year.
Or driving in the car.
Or driving in the car. Great.
And
you need to get larger quantities.
And I found this at, I think, Walmart. I'm thinking this is when I got it at Walmart. And so you can get a bigger bag. So these are like all the little foods that I keep in the car with me to prevent me from going off the rails. I sometimes just pack a lunch baggie, a lunch bag, and I'll put a couple bottles of water in it. some snacks, and if we're going to be gone all day, you know, I'm not always a big want to fast every day.
And it may also, in the long run, be cheaper than going through fast food places.
And it's definitely helpful, guys.
Yeah.
So those are a couple of things. Now, I've always been against eating bars, but there are times when I was studying for finals, or with this weird virus, that about the only thing I could do is maybe get a bar in me because I was just too tired to eat for a couple of weeks. So Quest is not my favorite company, but they do make some bars that are okay. Some of them taste god-awful. I would not say have these every day, but it's a better bad choice.
Oh, absolutely. And sometimes you got to make some compromises here and there. And so throwing one of these, you know, in a bag,
In your purse,
in
the car, on the bus. You know, I would not eat a box of these. I think an occasional snack, you're going to miss a lunch. You're going to miss, you're fasting and find that it's not a good fasting day and you need to eat something. Staying out of the fast food line, one of these is better. This one, I like s'mores. I haven't tried cookies and cream. I thought the cookie dough was terrible. They're 4 net carbs. Do I think they're the best thing in the world? No. I think it's a better bad choice.
It's a compromise.
And we have been doing lots of reno and lots of studying, and so sometimes I have to make a few compromises on what I make. You know, sometimes at lunch it was I get a bar and I keep studying. And that was one of them. Now, this one is not a cheap choice. I got it from, I can get it from Smart Cake themselves, or I can get it from Amazon. And they are not terribly high in carbs. I think there are 9 total with 5 grams of fiber, and their fiber is not bad. It's like oat fiber, corn fiber, and flax. Really not bad. These are, they come in little packets of 2. Yeah, and these are called Smart Cakes. And if you need your little Debbie fix, your little ding dong fix, or your, you know, needs to go in your lunch bucket. You can tell I'm married to a coal miner's son, because that's all they ever called it. This is not a bad thing. I keep these around. They are made fresh. They don't get to you really fast, and you can freeze them. I don't eat them all the time, but I do like them. They actually make a bread, a bun. It's okay.
Yeah, Connie, we haven't really looked closely at some of the Atkins stuff.
I haven't. You haven't. I think Atkins bars are god-awful. Don't eat them. Don't eat the Atkins bars. Don't eat the Slim Fast bars. Stay away from them. Yeah, Angel, I can take some pictures of them. What I can do is I'll post a link, and it's an affiliate link, guys, and I know, you know, it may bug you that we post an affiliate link. I'll post links for some of the stuff that I can get at Amazon, like the case of the Duke's things and these, and then I'll send some pictures out with it. Now, I have not been much on keto delivered keto crates, because Keto Crate, the brand Keto Crate, it's like a snack crate that comes monthly. A lot of their stuff's a little iffy on carbs. But I got a box called Keto Delivered. And somebody I follow on Facebook, Carrie Brown, she has a cooking Facebook group. She kind of recommended this. And some of the stuff that came in this was not bad. Some of it's not great, like these, which sounds like they're good. They've got sugar in them, so you got to be careful. So you can try keto crates or this keto box. It came with coconut flour. So that was a nice keto thing, because that's 100% keto for your keto baking. We did try a new recipe, and I'm going to post the link for that with the miracle flour. There's a miracle flour. It's called miracle flour. It's called lupine, and it's kind of like a bean or a legume kind of thing. And it's ground into a flour, and it's a little lower carb. You can't use it 100% by itself, but you can mix it in, and it makes the food taste a little less yucky. Chalk Zero. Let me talk to you people about Chalk Zero. I've not tried their sugar-free chips. I get most of my sugar-free chips from Walmart. Walmart carries a Lily's brand. I don't know about our Walmart. It's crappy. We all know that our Walmart's crappy. But the one in Jackson carries it. But Lily's makes a sugar-free chip. I do a lot of baking with Lily's sugar-free chips. Mm-hmm. So you can get a keto chocolate chip cookie recipe. You can get a keto
chocolate chip muffins.
Yeah, I melted some and put them over macadamia nuts in little cups, and made a chocolate nut cup for Christmas. It was really good. So this one comes with all kinds of little stuff, that's mostly keto. So that's a recommendation if you can afford it. You can always try keto delivered. We're trying stuff sometimes to see if it's any good. Sometimes I want to review it and tell you whether you should eat it or stay away from it. But thank you, Angel. There are a lot of good keto things. I didn't post as much around Christmas as I should have. Like I said, I've had that bug, and also did my boards, and starting to look for a job, and waited for Ohio forever to, and probably in the next few days I need to apply for my DEA license. So lots of paperwork. For those that have been praying for me in my passing, thank you. I nailed the boards real well. I really did good on the boards. I was passing was 500. Maximum you could get was 800. I was aiming for 501 because no one cares what you pass by. I got 641. So I really flew through those boards. So I appreciate everybody's prayers this year for me. I'm hoping to get back and get the boards active again. Guys, I want you to start posting pictures. If you got questions on paleo, I am not the expert, but I will post a link on paleo. I know my son and daughter-in-law has done paleo in the past. If you can't do keto, try paleo. You can lose weight that way too.
Yeah, and it's a good start.
It's a good start. It's an intro.
Absolutely.
But guys, do the best you can. We use excuses.
It's 2020, time to start anew.
Yeah. And there's never going to be a perfect time. There's never going to be a stress-free time. Matter of fact, if you can suck it up and knuckle down and do it during times of stress, you can do it anytime.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what you got to hold on to during times of stress. I can do this. I can do this. And you can focus on the diet and the healthy eating and your healthy snacks, and find replacements for what's your thing. Coke is your thing. Get a Diet Coke. Get an unsweetened iced tea and put some Splenda in it. I'm not going to tell anybody not to have Splenda or NutraSweet. May not be the best thing, but if that's what you got, that's what you got.
Yeah, it keeps you away from the
junky food,
the junky stuff.
The one diet drink I don't want you to use is Diet Mountain Dew. It may say no sugar, it may say 0 carbs, it may say whatever. It's got juice in it. Juice is going to throw you out of ketosis, and it's going to make you gain weight. It's going to affect your blood sugar. It is especially going to affect your blood sugar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So high insulin leads to obesity.
Leads to inflammation and can cause damage to your blood vessels. And we think increases your risks of heart disease
and stroke
and diabetic complications.
Right. So if you can change a few things, you can start improving the quality of your life. I went on day one, my vessel, my triglycerides showed how bad my vessel disease was, at 220, and now it's at 78. I think I have reduced my risk of heart attack and stroke by a lot. And I have a lot of health problems, guys. I am not the healthiest person in the world. My daughter calls me a medical train wreck. I'm pretty healthy for a medical train wreck. But so if I can do this with my health issues, you guys can do it too.
Absolutely.
You know. Do you guys got questions before we let you go? It's been almost an hour. We've been running our mouths. Is there anything I can answer for you? What you need? What do you want to see from us this year? You know, post your goals. You know, maybe everyone should post their goals in the group. You know, for those that are going to watch this on YouTube, it's Common Sense Keto with a K. So it's KOMMON, Common Sense Keto.
And share.
And share. I try to keep the group small and cozy and very personal. And come on, guys, let's just keep the love going for each other, you know.
We'll make 20 our greatest year ever.
Yeah. And don't listen to people that tell you it's not healthy. Your candy bar, Coke, Mountain Dew diet is what's killing you. It's not eating fat. So. And you know what? We'll never give up on you guys. And Cello, you owe me lunch. Maybe next week.
We're not giving up on any of you.
We're not giving up on any of you. Take care, guys. We love you. Bye-bye.
Have a great day.